So again, my name is Mike Davis. I also have Jonathan Antar with me on the phone to keep me honest and on track here with technical issues. But really wanted to go through the sensor today that's offered by SourceEdge. So thank you guys for putting this on for us. So first, we're going to talk about Halo. Halo is a sensor by IPVIDEO. IPVIDEO has been around for a long time. Over 20 years. They are out of Bayshore, New York. It's an American-based company. This product is assembled and designed here in the U.S. So if we need to talk to engineers or support people, they're readily available and they're here in the U.S. for us. So we'll get going. Next slide, please. So there's 4 main products from IPVIDEO. All of these products you'll find are synergistic to each other. So of course, we're going to talk about Halo in depth today, but just so that you know, ViewScan is a metal detector. ViewScan is very much applicable to the very same market. It actually uses photometers to look for interference in Earth's magnetic field. And we have a couple big benefits from that. One is it's completely passive, means it's safe to walk through. If you're pregnant, if you've got a pacemaker, it's completely safe to walk through, and it's safe to walk through repetitively. Also, we're able to integrate with a camera and able to pinpoint exactly where you're seeing ferrous metals. So if you have something in your pocket, if you have something in your hand, it'll show up there and it'll highlight that area. Really eliminates wanding, it eliminates pat downs, and makes things go much faster through a line. So very applicable in those same markets that Halo's in. AV Fusion is another product that's really been adapted to the same market. So think about, you know, your typical police department, and they're going to have an interrogation room, and they're going to have a recording system with that interrogation room with audio and video, be able to take notes, etc. So we've adapted that product, and it works very well in the same market as Halo. For example, in the K-12 market, we find a lot of schools are very interested in setting up a room for that, discussions primarily centered around the disciplinary actions that we're having because we caught you vaping in the bathroom. So that's the reason for the AV Fusion, and it sells quite well with Halo. And then in addition, True Security Design is kind of the glue. It's the consulting service. So many schools and other customers don't have policies or procedures built around Halo or vape detection. And so they're able to help them design and actually end up with a document for policies and procedures, as well as give you additional webinars or direct meetings discussing the problems with vaping, the health issues, et cetera. And those can be targeted at school administrators, at teachers, at parents, at students, et cetera. So a very well-rounded group of products, all synergistic to each other and all really to support that same market. But today we'll focus on Halo. Thanks. Jonathan. So talking today about the Halo Smart Sensor, I want to get one big concept out that'll help the rest of the conversation make sense. That is one device, but actually multiple sensors. So within the device, there are 12 different sensors. Each of those sensors independently analyzes and collects data. We can actually collect up to 150 different data sets at the same time, every single sensor gathering data every single second. The unique thing is all of those being under one device and being able to sample data from multiple devices and combine those into profiles. That is the secret sauce for Halo. So if you think about vaping, able to break vaping down into multiple components, into chemical components, environmental components like air particulates and what size air particulates, et cetera, and VOCs, volatile organic compounds. So we're able to look at those 3 different types of things and come up with the right profile for what we want to see. We can be very accurate because we can look for the right percentages over the right times, the right deltas from baseline, the right slopes and how fast things occur. Really be very particular and very accurate in what we're detecting. So that's how we created Halo as a vape detector. You're going to find out today that though it is an excellent vape detector, it can do a lot more. Now, prior to Halo, there were other vape detectors on the market, but they have a single sensor. So they'll run air across the heating element and they'll look for a chemical reaction. If that chemical reaction is present, bang, they call that a detection of vaping. Obviously, we're much more sophisticated. That's why within 1 year's time frame, Halo has really become the Kleenex brand for vape sensors. And I think you'll find it has the capability of doing that in many other areas as well. So vaping and vaping with THC, obviously. Air quality and environmental monitoring is something else that we're quite good at, and you'll see a lot of development around in the near future. So more to come on that. Of course, chemical detection, and all of this is information that we can gather in areas that we otherwise couldn't put a camera. So as security guys, we like to put cameras in areas to be part of the protection and reviewing and investigation process. But we can't put those in bathrooms. We can't put those in locker rooms. With Halo, now you have a sensor that's able to gather that data, provide you information, and provide you with a notification within those areas that otherwise you can't get a camera. Next slide, please. So these are the kind of groups of different sensors, and I like talking about these groups of sensors because it gives you just an idea of how broad the capabilities of the system is. But I'm going to start from the right and move back to the left because I like to end on audio. Environmental sensors, of course, there's a bunch of those: temperature sensors, humidity sensors, barometric pressure sensors, and a tamper sensor is actually just measuring any sort of vibration within the unit. So touching it, any sort of physical connection is going to cause some sort of vibration. It's really sensitive. You can even sense like when an HVAC unit comes on or off. So we set our thresholds so that we know if somebody's touching the unit, it's definitely going to go off, and we can use that information also in other profiles if we want. Lighting, of course, we have a lighting sensor. We can detect lux value. That can be used in all sorts of different applications, from intelligent lighting applications to just noting, if somebody's in an area or not in an area. Chemical detection, lots of different chemicals, ammonia, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, among those. So there's a lot of gases that we can actively look for. And air quality. And air quality can mean a lot of different things. So we've got vaping, vaping with THC, of course, smoke. Tell people we can detect smoke. Please don't connect this to your fire alarm panel. It's not a life safety rated device, but yes, we can detect smoke. We can notify you about that, whether that's somebody smoking or smoke happening in an area. Air particulates are becoming increasingly more important to us as we look at all sorts of different applications, including air quality. But we can measure air particulates in 3 different sizes, with 3 small, medium, and large microns. We also can detect a lot of different volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. And we've created a couple new profiles here. So air quality is something that is very important. You'll definitely see that trending upwards and more important as time goes on. I think it's relative to our health and safety, as well as performance. But we do have some interesting things coming along out in the near future along the lines of air quality. We have a masking profile now as well. Masking came about because kids were vaping and getting caught vaping, and what were they doing? They were spraying some sort of masking agent. Think like Axe body spray or something like that, and that agent was masking the vape signature. So we went back and we created a masking signature that will alarm and notify if you see the same properties that we look for vaping, as well as some of these other aerosol type sprays. So then we can call that a masking. You can also use that in an application for detecting spray painting. So we've had some schools tell us that they've had spray painting happening in bathrooms and locker rooms and that sort of thing. And they wanted to be able to detect that, so we can detect that way as well. And then finally, audio analytics. Want to point out there are 2 microphones in the sensor. Though there are microphones, you do not have the ability to listen, and you do not have the ability to record audio. We're simply digitizing that audio and using it for our audio analytics. The most basic of those is noise level. We can set a threshold. We can notify you above a certain noise level, below a certain noise level, but basically we can set a decibel range and know that there's a notification above and below that. We also have actual AI-based analytics, aggression, so we can detect aggressive behavior, things breaking and crashing. We can detect gunshot now in the new 2.0 release, as well as keyword detection. The very first keyword that we released is a duress keyword. It's like a Halo help. We don't actually disclose the actual keyword until you're purchasing the product, because not everybody wants to know what that is. But you have a duress keyword there, and that is a single word that will notify people that there's an incident, and you can prioritize that incident as a duress signal. Next slide, please.